I have learnt from my audience feedback that the structure and the plot are something that I should have thought about more before filming. This is because I felt my final product felt a bit disjointed because the clips seemed quite random, as if the order hadn't been thought out. My audience feedback told me that this was something that they noticed. In the early stages of the idea process, I created a focus group to discuss my ideas so far. This was really helpful in discovering what my audience wanted to be featured in the film and which aspects they didn't understand. The most important piece of feedback I received from this session was that they wanted to see the rehearsal process, what happens backstage, and so that the audience can see why people do amateur theatre. So immediately I knew which questions I would have to answer in my documentary, and I think I did this through my use of interviews. Later on, I learnt from my feedback of my first draft that it could be seen that my interview shots were positioned slightly differently. Because of this, I had to refilm a couple of my interviews to make sure it looked as professional as possible, as my interviews were what was giving my film meaning. When creating my film poster, audience feedback was vital, as the film poster would be the first ancillary text available to my audience for them to look at before making a decision about actually seeing my film, so their opinion was very important. I showed a group of people in my target audience 3 film poster designs and asked for their feedback on which one they felt suited my film and the genre most. I also asked which one they preferred on general appearance to see which one would catch their eye. Luckily, the majority of my audience chose the same poster, which was one with 3 images of the actors featured in the film and an image of the final production on stage, so this made it easier to make my decision. I found throughout the pre-production planning and the production process that my audience feedback was better when I received it within a discussion, such as in the form of a focus group. This was because it was easier to interpret their thoughts when hearing a discussion about every idea, and I felt that I could explain what they meant aloud, which was better than me trying to interpret basic answers from a questionnaire in written form. Overall, I felt all my decisions were helped by the audience feedback that I received, especially as I was not within the age range of my target audience, so some decisions I made needed to reflect my audience and not me.